In today's video, I'm going to explain to you what you're legally required to do when you sell your home, and then some things that you can do to go above and beyond. So your home is under contract. Yay! But now comes the fun part, packing and getting the house ready so you can turn the keys over on the day of closing. And you may be wondering, Connie, what exactly am I required to do before I leave the house? So today I will share with you 4 things that the Georgia real estate contract requires you to do. And then I'm going to share you some other things that you can do, maybe just because you're a nice person. So stick around to the end because I'm going to share the number 1 thing that sellers do to cause deals to fall apart on the day of closing. So let's get started. 22 years ago, the movie Pay It Forward was released, and I found this story to be incredibly moving, and it really made a lasting impression on my life. So you see, this little boy was able to change the world with just his little random acts of kindness. And the movie had such an impact on the society that even to this day, people find ways to pay it forward. So for instance, in 2013, a Starbucks in Connecticut had a record-breaking pay it forward spree of 1,000 customers that cheerfully agreed to pay for the customers behind them. So you may be wondering, why am I bringing this up on my real estate YouTube channel? You see, this morning, while I was waiting in line for my grande non-fat vanilla latte with whip, I got to thinking about how nice it is when my clients pay it forward when they sell their home. So let's start with what you have to do legally when you sell. So the first thing is you are required to provide them with all the keys, garage door openers, and such. And then the second thing is allow them to inspect the property immediately before the closing. Next, keep all of the utilities on so that they can see what they're doing. And then you want to consult with your real estate disclosure to see what you've agreed to leave. For instance, I had a client once, they moved their washer and dryer to Chicago only to find out that they were actually supposed to leave it for the new homeowner. So guess what? They had to buy a new washer and dryer. And finally, you're required to deliver the property clean and free of trash, debris, and personal property. So that's what the contract says that you're responsible for. But I still get asked all the time questions like, hey Connie, do I have to professionally clean my house or clean my carpets? And what should I do with my nail holes when I take my pictures down? Do I have to fill them? And then do I have to paint the wall? Or should I leave my paint cans? So these are really, really good questions. Because, quite honestly, the real estate contract does not specify any of these things. So you could get away without doing anything extra, especially in today's hot real estate market. But just like the guy behind me was planning to pay for his own cup of coffee this morning, imagine how he felt when he pulled up to the window and found out that I had paid for it. And I feel like the same feeling holds true for buyers. So just imagine how you would feel if you walked into your new home and you found it a mess. But also think about how it would make you feel if you walked in the home and the seller went out of their way to make you feel welcome. So I thought I'd give you some ideas on how you could pay it forward when you sell your home. Okay, you could fill in all the nail holes in paint. And yes, that may mean you have to paint the entire room, because you either lost the paint cans or the paint didn't match. And if you do have to repaint, check with the buyer first to see if they were also planning to repaint when they moved in. So you might want to ask them also if they want you to leave the used paint cans. If so, try to label those paint cans so that they know which color goes to which room. And if not, get rid of the paint, dry it out, and put it in the trash. So while the contract specifies you have to deliver the property clean, as you and I know, the definition of clean can vary greatly from one person to the next. I always recommend having your home professionally cleaned after all the furniture has been moved out. And if the carpets show up stained, get those cleaned too. Another thing you can do is you can gather together all your warranty information, those books, any service information you have on HVAC or the roof or anything like that. Gather those together and put those in the kitchen drawer. And if you want to go a step further, you can do what my client Morgan did the other day. She put together this beautiful binder, and it was filled with lists of doctors, service providers, and just generally the people she used to maintain the home. And I can tell you that nice gesture went a long way with the buyers at the closing table. Another really nice gesture is to mow your lawn. about a day or two before they move, or before you move. And then that way, when the buyers get here, they can walk to the front door and they can smell that fresh cut grass. And again, one thing to remember is people overestimate how quickly they can get out of the house. And I can tell you from firsthand experience, when my husband and I moved out of our first home in Brookstone, we totally underestimated how long it would take. And we were scrambling at the last minute, trying to stuff what we had remaining into my husband's Taurus car. Luckily, we got everything out in time. But I have had a number of closings get delayed and almost fall apart because the sellers were not fully moved out on the day of closing. And then you have those sellers that are the sweetest people ever. Like John and Tommy, who went to the French bakery here on the square and bought the new homeowners a cake. They put it in the refrigerator for them, and when they got there, there was a sweet welcome home note. So I told you I would tell you about the number one thing that I see sellers do that kill the deal. And that is not fixing everything on the amendment that you agreed to fix. There is a thing called amendment to address concerns, and it's a list of things that you've negotiated you're gonna fix in the home. Make sure you've gone through that with a fine-tooth comb and you fixed everything you promised to fix. And then also make sure that you have receipts for all the repairs being done. So for example, if you said an electrician was going to replace the GFCI in the amendment and then you did it yourself, that could be grounds for the buyer not actually closing on the deal. And I've seen that happen where there was shoddy work done or it wasn't being done by the professional that you said you were going to do it. Sometimes when you're in the midst of buying or selling, there can be a lot of tension, hurt feelings, and frustrations. But I always find that if you do the right thing and treat others the way that you want to be treated, that it's going to be a good day and the deal is going to happen and everybody will be happy. So do you want to get a jump on preparing for your sale? If so, I have a 90-step guide of things you can't neglect when selling your home. And I've put a link down below so you can download it for free. Hey, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I think you should watch this one next, where I'll show you how you can get the best price for your home.